story for the Mythmakers is the TARDIS lands on the plains just outside the city of Troy during the Trojan War. The Greeks at first mistake the Doctor for being Zeus, but when discovered he is not, he is forced to create a revolutionary idea to end the war in their favor. Meanwhile, the TARDIS is stolen by the Trojans and placed in the city of Troy. Vicky is believed to be a woman with insight into the future and is forced to come up with an idea to win the war in their favor. Will the TARDIS crew's interference with the Trojan War be for good or for bad? Much like the serial The Romans, I had fun with this one. It was not made into a comedy like The Romans, but was made seriously, and was fun to see the events unfold and how characters like Odysseus and Achilles were portrayed. With all the episodes missing of this serial, only the audio, edited together with telesnaps, some surviving footage, and fan-made off-air 8mm recordings completed this serial. I also had found this on YouTube, much like the previous one. What can be seen from what I watched and listened to is pretty good. The locations and sets look great, the costumes look very nice and appropriate, and the acting was also done well. It was neat to see how the characters of Odysseus and Achilles were played out, and seeing how the writers used the Iliad and the Odyssey as inspiration for these two. Achilles is humble and brave, while Odysseus is brash and arrogant, like their characterizations in the stories. And the actors who portrayed them looked like and performed them very well. This serial marks the last appearance for companion Vicky. In this serial, she begins to feel at home and falls in love with Prince, I hope I'm pronouncing this right, Troilus. Her leaving the TARDIS crew is more believable than it was for Susan. With Vicky, we got to have time to see her fall in love with Troilus and see a connection, and we get to see that she believes she can live and love here, and we believe she can too. And we last see them both looking at the destroyed Troy together and believe there is hope for them. Her replacement, Katerina, is a servant girl that helps a wounded Stephen into the TARDIS. How she is, we will have to wait until the next serial, but I like the idea of having a Trojan servant girl be companion and is unfamiliar with any sort of technology. And it is also funny, for she mistakes the TARDIS for a temple, and she thinks she's being taken to the afterlife. And she keeps calling the Doctor a god. It's all quite amusing. My only wish for the serial is that footage of the fight scene survives, so we can see how that was choreographed and see how well they have progressed with these scenes over time. I personally give this serial 3 stars out of 5. It is sad to see Vicky go, but like all companions that leave, we all wish them well and never forget them. And when actually Vicky leaves the TARDIS, it's this nice touching scene, and I love it. Vicky actually walks out of the TARDIS, the door closes behind her, and she gives one last look at the TARDIS, gives it a nice, big, lovingly bear hug. And she just hugs it with so much love and affection, because if you remember when we first got introduced to her with the rescue, she was just an orphan that was crash-landed onto an alien planet. She had no home, nobody, no ties, nothing. She was just alone. And then she became part of the TARDIS crew, and she got a family. I mean, a real family. She had people to love and took care of her. I mean, the Doctor kind of acted like a surrogate grandfather to her. She had a real family. But much like with many families, the children have to move on and go on to their own thing. So she left. She found true love. She found a new home, so she wanted to go there. And it just seemed appropriate that she would give the TARDIS, which was her home for so long, a hug. It's completely understandable, and there's so much love in that scene, and I will miss her. I love her very much. We'll miss her. Until next time.